the NCAA indoor meet is over, and the women of Arkansas have repeated as national champions. That gives them 4 out of the last 5. But they were not the only ones to light up the track. Maya Ramsden of Harvard repeated as the mile champion. She technically won the 1500 outdoors in 2023. And remember, she is doing all of this without a scholarship because the Ivy League doesn't give them out. But if you paid any attention at all to the rest of the distance events, you should have noticed that one woman was clearly in a class all by herself. If you watch my channel, then you know that I don't want to be the guy who keeps talking about the same athlete. I told you last time that I'm not making another Parker Valby video, at least not until she forces me to do it. Well, apparently she got the memo and decided to give me absolutely no choice after her NCAA championship performance. She went out and won the 5K and the 3K, setting NCAA championship meet records in both. In fact, that 5K record is technically the new collegiate record, but that's not even a big story anymore because the record that she broke was already her own. The truth is that Parker Valby is the most dominant distance runner in all of college right now. But it's also true that if I only leave the sentence there, I am now making an understatement. If you've ever watched her race this year, then you know that it doesn't really resemble much of a race at all anymore. Because she basically goes way out in front of everyone and simply coasts to the finish. The only races that really occurred with her on the track during championship weekend were for second place. And if she can keep this up, she can take her legacy to the next level, a level that even Katelyn Tuohy never reached. Because the only woman in college who can actually beat her at this point appears to be herself, and this is why. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section because I try to read them all. Allow me to go over the facts the way that I understand them, because it is incredibly rare for true greatness to show up in any sport. It generally takes a few years when one legend leaves for another to prove themselves. And in track and field, greatness isn't just winning a championship, it's winning a bunch of them, back to back to back. And the NCAA just saw the last distance legend do her thing at the NCAA championship meet 1 year ago. I shouldn't even have to remind you, so I'm gonna make it brief. Katelyn Tuohy won the NCAA Outdoor 5K in 2022, and then followed it up by winning the cross-country national meet later that year, and then immediately thereafter, won the indoor 5K and the indoor 3K, once again at the NCAAs. If you're keeping score, which I am, that is 3 straight seasons as the nation's best, and she broke her fair share of records along the way. Remember, Parker Valby finished right behind her at those first 2 NCAA meets, but was nowhere to be found at the indoor championship. And the only reason is because her indoor season was shut down after just 1 race in 2023. Since that time, she took the outdoor 5K crown, even though Katelyn technically didn't show up to defend it. But then she ran away from her at the cross-country national meet. And now she has completed the double, indoors in the 5K and 3K herself. They both followed the same exact path to dominance, but this time, Parker broke the collegiate meet records. Both times she went out to run. And what the last legend failed to do was to maintain her dominance into the next outdoor season. And she also had Parker right behind her to push her. When Parker did not show up to the NCAA indoor meet last year, it was basically a foregone conclusion that Katelyn was gonna win everything. Now, Parker Valby is way out in front, and nobody around seems to be able to challenge her. So I would say the odds are looking pretty good that she'll continue this going into outdoors. If she does, then the only race that will ever occur with her on the track again will only be for second place. I totally understand that we've seen great distance runners in the NCAA for decades. But as long as Parker can keep winning outdoors and break collegiate records when she does it, a pretty compelling argument can be made that she will now be the greatest to ever do it in college. Track and field fans are blinded by fast times. In fact, the announcers are as well. When they called Parker's 3K at the NCAAs, they figured out pretty quickly that the only competition she really had was from the ghost of the record books. If you don't believe me, just go back and watch the feed of her final laps for yourself. It's almost as if she's the only one on the track, and the camera is just following her around while we watch. Nobody else gets any attention in a point-scoring national championship race that is still pretty far from over. Parker Valby is that good. In fact, she is that great. You don't have to like it, but the facts are the facts. Choosing to watch her race is now the same thing as simply watching her run, because that's all we've really been doing for the better part of the last year now. The gun goes off and eventually, Parker is running by herself. The only race you'll ever get to watch, if you really want to see one, is going to be for second place. And that is hard to do, regardless of how easy she makes it look, or even how easy she tries to make it sound. And if she can make it look this easy for just one more season, she will have a compelling case to be the greatest of all time, because the clock will definitely be on her side. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.